Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Patrick Sherwin. I'm the founder of GoSun. I've been on a pursuit to get solar power to run our lives for the last 25 years. And, I really want to show you that it's possible, that it's happening. Through the last decade with GoSun, we've really proven that solar is a really viable way to thrive and live. And I've got a whole suite of some of our original innovations here. We've launched several innovations every year. So what you're looking at are the solar powered cooler, which is essentially a car fridge that we've adapted to run on sunshine and lithium. Our sort of most notable product is the vacuated tube solar oven, makes a meal with nothing but sun, and then they're backed up with 12-volt electricity. And then, a bunch of other appliances. This is a portable coffee making device that's a French press and a heater built in, of course, lighting and cooling, and then power. This is like a 1100-watt power bank, not unlike what is inside the EV solar charger. This is a water purification and sanitation system. So we've been in the solar space for a long, long time, and we firmly believe that solar is going to be a key part of the future, and we're doing everything we can to make it accessible, to make it easy, affordable, and kind of intuitive. And so we've sold 175,000 products to people over 80 countries. We've done about 25 million in revenue. Many of those products were crowdfunded. They were launched on platforms such as Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and so the EV solar charger falls into that same basic category of an innovation that's launched kind of to the crowd, and then we take a prototype. We've got it working. We know essentially what it's going to be, how it's going to work. We present that to the community online. In this case, we self-funded it, or we did a self-hosted crowdfunding, and people kind of put their bid in or put their order in, and all of those early adopters. So anyone in this audience that's a reservation holder gets the best deal, and that's how crowdfunding works. They get early bird deals. They make sure that we make sure that their inputs and innovations, that how they're using the product, relating to the product, what they would like to see in the product, is heard, is absorbed by the design team, and possibly put into the DNA of the product. Again, the DNA of GoSun is crowdfunding, and we firmly believe that it's a phenomenal way to create an innovation machine, create a business in the 21st century. Our two unique niches are recreation and resilience. So everything we make, everything we invent, has to hit both of those things. It has to be fun, and it has to be there for you when you need it. We use the word resilience to reflect like security, independence, self-reliance, the ability to adapt and change quickly, the ability to do more with less, self-sufficiency. We look at the word sufficiency a lot in our developments of products. Efficiency is important, but what is sufficient? What is required to get the job done here? And what would that look like? So again, as innovators, we've launched a lot of products. I wanted to show you a couple things. For example, we did a portable inflatable boat that is essentially off-grid solar powered. First of its kind. It totally works. You can roll it up and put it in the back of your minivan. Thing weighs about 250 pounds. And it's just kind of crazy and delightful that this is possible now with available technology. We put all of our portable appliances onto an ultralight, streamlined RV, and created this off-grid camper. Again, when your appliances are using a lot less energy, then you need a much smaller solar uh, power supply. And that was like one of the first tenets that I learned 25 years ago when I stepped into off-grid solar design. When you can thrive with less, uh, then you're in a good place. So onwards to our mobility equation. We've done a few products in mobility, and we saw a huge opportunity. As we all know, and I don't want to dwell on this, the world has been addicted to fossil fuels for the last 100 years, and to a large extent, that's kind of driving us towards extinction. And we have to figure out how to do better with the available renewable energy that exists. We've figured out how to do a great job with fossil fuels, and no doubt there's a drug dealer on every street corner who's really great at getting us this sauce. And I'm not trying to beat it up. I benefit from the fossil fuel era as well. But I think it's coming to an end, and electrification is really the future. Electrification of nearly everything, and most importantly in this conversation, our roadways. We all know about the amazing company that's created a supercharging network all over, particularly in North America, and it's pretty phenomenal what they've done. Um, but supercharging your car is also difficult on the battery. It can be really harmful to the battery, and it's also getting very expensive. I mean, to the point where you're paying often like 5 times more for a kilowatt hour in the public charging infrastructure versus when you're at home. So, and then going further with the electric vehicle, a lot of people have tried to solarize the car. We all want to be able to drive on sunshine, um, and it's not as easy as we would like. Companies like Lightyear here are very expensive. Um, you got the Aptera, which is uh, just having a wonderful vehicle. I really hope they can get it produced. They're promising this year, but it's been something like 2 decades in the making, and and then like integrating the solar into the vehicle is super expensive. So as solar innovators, we kind of ran the numbers like we want to drive on sunshine. We want to drive a super durable, reliable electric car that's, going to be around for a while by a manufacturer that's reputable. And so, what would it take to be able to drive on sunshine? And we know that that's like the holy grail, to be able to be solar powered independent, to drive in the cleanest form known to man. So with my co-founder Gary Starr, who has incredible wealth of experience in electric vehicles and solar, he's been in the space for a couple more decades than mine. Um, we ran the numbers again, and we looked at what would it take to really run a solar car with today's most available flexible technology. This is Gary in the world's first X Prize, $1 million prize to build a car that could do over 100 miles to the gallon. Gary wanted to go into production with this car and was second in place to Tesla for a $300 million loan. Um, but just to demonstrate that we have a team that has a ton of experience in electrification and mobility, and without further ado, I want to share more about the EV solar charger. I've got a working unit sitting right behind me in the rain here in Southwest Ohio, where it's just it's still putting energy from the sky into the vehicle's battery, and I will be able to drive today maybe 10 miles, maybe 7 miles on sunshine, even if the sun doesn't really show itself. And that is extremely liberating. I personally have been driving on sunshine for about half of my driving needs over
But he
the
hasn't
last
been.
several months, and so it's just it's It's hard to describe the feeling. It's a little bit as if you grew your own tomato for, you remember how empowering that is when you're producing your own food from your own land. It's something that you feel almost more than I can even socialize or articulate here. But I want to get into like the specifications. I want to, just chat for another 5 minutes or so about how this product really works, and then we'll get into questions. And again, I encourage people here to add their questions into the chat. But essentially, this thing is a 4 by 4 foot box made of a really durable plastic, not unlike the luggage, rooftop carriers that you've already seen. And within that box is everything you need to make a lot of electricity on a daily basis and put it into the car directly through, the standard outside carport, charging port, excuse me. And I can show you the inside here once I stop sharing my screen here. But basically, whenever you park the car, you unfold 1100 watts. There's 200 watts on the top, and then the two wings fold out each 450 watts. And it racks up on pretty much any vehicle crossbars. So it doesn't have to be unique to a Tesla. And we're actually leveraging your charging cord that came with your car. The 110 volt charging cord that everybody gets for free, EVSE cable. So the key benefits for this, obviously solar powered independence, the ability to charge anywhere you go. And it's the cleanest form of transport, maybe outside of riding a bicycle or riding mass transit. It's really good for your battery to charge slowly, a nice little side benefit. When you cover the windows, by and large, you're creating a much, much cooler cabin. So you're saving energy there and saving comfort. And then just having the connection. Like I find myself being so much more in tune with the weather and so much more connected to where I am by virtue of using this on a regular basis. So what's included in the unit? As I mentioned, the two 450 watt arrays are the ones that fold up, and they're highly flexible, highly durable. And then on top is a 200 watt. Inside, and I'll show you a little bit closer here, we're just calling it a power bank or a buffer battery. It takes all that solar energy, and no matter what, even when it's low energy like it is today, and it goes into the battery, and then from the battery you run an inverter, and then we provide a 110 volt plug that has software to turn on and off based on the available energy in the battery, and then you're running it through your cable to your car. Just looking at the overall kind of lifetime performance, this is a graph indicating in Texas the power, or not so much power, but the energy, which is power over time, of what you would expect to get on an average basis for the average amount of distance an EV owner drives, which is about 7,500 miles per year. So what you'll notice is that during, maybe 5 months, you'll be able to get 100% of your driving needs. And then there's going to be another 5 months where, you may be less than 50%. The winter is a thing. And there's a combination of issues there, not just low amount of sunshine, but you have freezing temperatures that make electric battery, temperature is critical when it comes to EVs, and you do lose power for heating. So getting inside the hood here, the components that come with every EV solar charger. I don't want to dwell too much on the great depth of detail. And again, I'll kind of open this up. In fact, now might be a good time to do it. It does come with an app, so you can kind of monitor everything that's coming in and out. It is very durably secure, both for 100 mile an hour down the road as well as anti-theft. It comes with a GPS tracking device, so you can kind of make sure you know where it is in case it does get pulled off the roof, which would be very difficult to do, but I know it's been a huge concern. And here's kind of the components that it comes with. It's very simple to set up. It will take two people to install on a vehicle. Um, and there's a couple different ways to install it, but those two people need to be able to lift 70 pounds. Um, so uh, it takes maybe uh, your first time installing it on your car, it might take an hour. Your next time, it might take a half hour. The third time, it's taking 15 minutes. There are some additional accessories that we're going to be offering. Just quickly working through the fact that electric vehicle charging is a massive growing market opportunity. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there is an investment opportunity in GoSun currently, where we are asking interested parties to put 5K into the company to earn one of these as a reward. And then, of course, you're earning shares in the company. This offer is currently online at startengine.com/GoSun. And there's another early bird bonus that's online for the next week related to this. So I'm sure some of you are considering this, and I'd be happy to answer questions that you might have about that. And just going to use my laptop here to kind of show you. So um, it's drizzling right now, so I'm not going to do this for very long. But there is our power bank. I'm not sure exactly what the camera is seeing, but you can see the Tesla EV ESC cable going to the car. We're charging at a pretty slow rate at the moment. Here are the straps to keep the unit from flying, or to keep the unit um, from any wind related challenge. Sorry. And and then in the back, we've got the prop sticks where we've got the full array extended, the full 1100-watt array. So, uh, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time in the rain with this particular piece of electronic. So let's jump into questions, and again, feel free, please, to throw your questions into the chat box here. I am joined with our industrial designer, Nick Heedy, and Nick's going to be helping me moderate questions over the next 10 minutes or so. Appreciate your all's interest and involvement here. I need to give my computer a little, it's raining pretty good out there, so I need to dry off my keyboard. Not fun. So, Nick, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we have a few people asking
Hand raised.
Yeah, sure. So, um, as I mentioned earlier, this is a new flexible solar technology that's recent on the market. In the past, this wasn't possible because flexible solar panels were really fragile. That is no longer the case for at least for the units that we're working with. I mean, not for all flexible solar, but these things are extremely durable. And I know that because of experience. I was in China back in December, forcing the manufacturers to show me how, when, where, doing flash tests. I was folding and bending and punching, and I could not, hardly damage these things. So I've been out in high winds. I've been using this unit for better part of a year with respect to testing and such. And I have seen this thing literally like fly off the roof in the wind before it had straps. And you would think, oh no, in the past that would have destroyed the panel if you got cracks, or even this micro crack, which has a time frame where it doesn't show up immediately. However, with these guys, you can pretty much torture them. You can have them flapping around, flying around, and then go back to trusting that they're still going to be putting out plenty of power. but we're certainly going to prevent that from happening with the straps. So the the straps are pretty simple and they're run on a combination of nylon and elastic. Cool. So the first one, yes, it is always charging, even when closed. The 200-watt panel on the roof is always going into the onboard power bank. So you can't charge your car when driving. So when moving, so you basically that's why we kind of invented it to the point where it doesn't really produce a lot of power until you park and when you unfold and then all you're doing is running the EVSE cable into your charge port. The whole thing takes about 1 minute to set up once you park. When it comes to the investment round, uh, we're the reward level that is currently available is a $5,000 investment in the company, earning shares in the company, including those bonus shares, as well as an EV solar charger. The EV solar charger we originally wanted to be at $3,000. With the tariffs and kind of the disruptions that we've had with China and the U.S., we expect to have that price increase a little bit to deposit holders, and we currently have it priced at $5,000 on our website. Deposit holders will be getting a discount in the next month to be able to purchase it outright at the lowest cost available. Those that don't want to wait and that want to be first in line should invest on Start Engine at that $5,000 level. And you can see all the benefits that you get there. And if you're a deposit holder, we're going to give you a $200 gift card to our website. Sure. So the battery up inside is 1.5 kWh, 1,500 watt hours. And that's lithium iron phosphate. So it's one of the most stable forms of lithium available. And that's significant in size with respect to appliances, smaller appliances, be that anything that's kind of handheld, cameras, laptops, um, power tools. Uh, you can absolutely use it at any time. So the power bank is sealed inside. I think I showed you earlier. And there's a space when you open the lid that enables you to place appliances, be those your iPads or camera gear, what have you. Um,
If I may add,
there was another question there that we may have missed. Yeah, no, I was very worried about that originally, and we really haven't seen any issues yet. I have been keeping my car decently clean, so that there isn't a lot of dust between the solar panel and the clear coat on the vehicle. But it's just nylon, and we haven't seen the panels like move very often. It's only in a really significant wind that they're actually moving, creating some rubbing. but thus far, I haven't seen any issue. I was very worried about that, and as Nick knows, we were doing all kinds of work with rubber landing pads and things, um, but so far you know, we tend to over worry, overthink things, and thus far, it hasn't been an issue. Now, only 1 year of testing isn't necessarily long enough to really see whether that could be an issue over time.
They're asking if they can't hear me. Well,
Oh yeah.
repeat the
Um,
question, or if you repeat it after I ask.
okay.
Um, they're asking
Yeah. So the cables. Oh, sorry. So what are the other cables that come with it with respect to input output? So we've got just a 110-volt cable that comes with the product so that you can charge the internal battery from grid power. Everything else is already kind of pre-wired for you. And then when you're looking to charge your car, you use your EVSE cable that came with your car, and of course use your own cable when you're running USB-C or any other appliance. Um, 1 year, no questions asked warranty. GoSun is good for that on every product that we've ever made. Um, and there are options for extended warranties as well. So um, we've been in business now for over a decade, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we've got 175,000 units sold to customers all over the world, and we definitely work hard to make sure our customers are very happy over the long haul. I think I understand the question. Okay, something about cables on the solar panels, and the answer is that we always try to use as standard cables as possible, which there aren't a ton of standards in the sort of micro solar or portable solar space that we've been in. But we these panels are all going to be running on MC4 connections, which are pretty ubiquitous and available. So you could disconnect stuff up inside your GoSun EV solar charger and connect it how you want, and have that 1100 watts of solar or that 200-watt panel go to your power bank or your battery. Every solar panel on the GoSun EV charger is at 60 volts. So nominally at 60 volts. So it makes for a very easy to hack system that you're welcome to open up and do what you will.
Robbie.
Yeah. So another question from Robbie about sort of the software intelligence that controls the inverter, and no doubt we do have that baked in, and essentially we're trying to protect make sure you have the longest lifetime from our unit. So we turn the battery off when it's around 20% state of charge, and then we turn the inverter off so the inverter's not a phantom load while you're recharging back up to 70%. So what'll happen, like right now I'm charging because I have a little bit of sun coming in, and I have turned down my charge rate on the Tesla app to 5 amps at 110 volt. Um, and once the battery is at 20%, it'll stop charging the car, and then I'll get like a notification that the car's not charging anymore. You might want to check your power source. And then, after an hour or two of sunshine, the battery's back to being happy. It'll turn the inverter on, and I'm still plugged in with the EVSE, so it'll automatically, the Tesla will look for power every 20 minutes. Whenever the power exists, it'll turn back on and start charging. So hopefully that answers that.
for this.
Sure.
Uh,
Sorry for the issues with hearing me, everybody. It looks like we have another question about tax credits and potential discounts there, specifically in the state of California.
I do not know well enough right now about how the tax credit will work. Um, so you'll have to consult with your advisor there. Um, certainly on a federal level, there's been some phenomenal credits for uh, both solar and EV charging, 30% just as a general rule. Um, where and how this applies in your state will be up to you and your tax professional. Um, and those things are changing a lot. So, so uh, I know that there's like Gary on our team. I think he's in the call, and he's posting some information in the chat around how those incentives might shake out for you in your specific area. Again, it's a combination of the potential incentives are both solar as well as EV or EV charging. So,
We have a question about the battery footprint being proprietary. I'll just answer that quickly if you don't mind. In order to make everything work, the power bank and all the solar panels were custom designed by GoSun, and we're manufacturing those to our spec. So we are planning to offer replacements should there be an issue with any of those modules. They can all be replaced. But if you are so inclined to start replacing stuff on your own, I'm not sure. There will be compatibilities with off-the-shelf stuff, but we can't promise anything. I'd also like to add, for any questions that we weren't able to get to or missed in the stream, you can email me at nick@gosun.co or patrick@gosun.co, and we'll do our best to get back to you ASAP.
yeah, thanks, Nick. Good. I hope that was sensible for everybody. Again, you can email us. There's also the support at gosun.co if you didn't catch our personal emails. And we're really excited to serve you guys. I do encourage folks listening and deposit holders or not to check out the investment offering on Start Engine. Let me go ahead and add that URL. It's www.startengine.com/offering/GoSun. And that early bird special will be available for the next week. And now is a great time to get in and to enjoy this clean energy revolution with GoSun and be both an owner of this massive innovation, which we believe is going to scale quite a bit. We know that there's a huge need for these, and also be a shareholder in the company, which we also hope to scale and go gangbusters and become a 9-figure company in the future. It's hard to know. The investment is up to you. It's 100% illiquid. There's risk involved. I have to say these things as you are putting your money in a security that is unknown its viability in the future. But we are pretty sure that there's a huge opportunity here. We're basically doing what we're doing what Aptera wanted to do, but we're doing it like for everybody and doing it now. For $3,000 or $5,000, you can own a piece of it. So I'm going to go ahead and sunset the meeting here because I don't want to keep people on too long. All of the details are on Start Engine, so I encourage you to check that out. We have limited the purchases of this to the Start Engine for now, and then if you want to buy it in the future and you're a deposit holder, we will be sending you an email with a great discount code in the future. So I want to really thank you. We will we'll always be available. Support at GoSun.co. Thank you so much for taking a look at the solar powered future with us, and believe in this clean energy revolution. See you next time, folks.
One final thing: this meeting was recorded. We'll do our best to make that available to people. There were some requests there. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Nick. Cheers. We'll see you next time. We'll do another one of these in 2 weeks too. So if you didn't get your questions answered and you want to watch again, please join that. Thanks all.